Hello once again. Welcome to another fundamental update, and this is 19th of October 2025. If you're following the channel, you know I drop fundamental updates every single weekend, and I give you an update on what happened the previous week and what is going to happen this week. The first thing I want to let you all know that dollar is actually at risk of being fully bearish, and I'll explain why. First of all, let's go into what happened last week. Well, last week we saw the market sentiment. I told you all what the market focus was going to be on, which is on risk off, right? Risk off means that we are seeing an economic uncertainty due to the tariff announcement, due to the government shutdown. You understand, a lot of things were taking place, which was making dollar weak, and also was making the Japanese yen strong and making gold strong as well. You understand? Risks of assets become strong during times of economic uncertainty, and I've told you all about this. I've explained this countless times. If this is the first time watching my fundamental update, well, I suggest you should just pay close attention. You'll still be learning a lot from it. So last week on Monday we had the bank holiday, which I told you all that it's not going to be volatile, there's not really going to be any movement. You understand, the Japanese yen bank holiday, card bank holiday, US bank holiday, right? I and my students, we did not take any trade on Monday. I don't think any of us took any trade on Monday. We were all sitting duck, right? Because we don't trade when there's no volatility. We don't trade when there's no volatility. Now, Tuesday was the day in which the whole volatility started, because the Fed chairman Powell had a speech. And in that speech, what did he say? He said that he's seen a possibility of a rate cut. I've explained to you all what a rate cut suggests, right? A rate cut just simply happens when the inflation of the economy is dropping drastically. So they target to cut interest rate. Why? To stimulate the economy. They reduce the interest rate, and in the process of reducing the interest rate, investors start removing their money from that currency. Why? Because it's not giving them much interest. And in the process, the currency would be bearish for a short period of time. They're just trying to stimulate the economy to start doing fine again. And in the US economy, the Fed have already said that yes, they are seeing possibility of a rate cut. So what does that mean? It's already official that based on monetary policy, dollar is going to be bearish. And that is why I drew something like this, showing you all my prediction on dollar, that dollar is going to be heading mostly bearish. But a lot of things can change this sentiment. A lot of things can change this sentiment. Now, based on the tariff announcements, you all witnessed the tariff announcement that made all the crypto currency drop drastically. A lot of crypto traders were complaining. A lot of people were losing their life in the crypto market. Well, I want to tell you all that was due to the tariff announcement. Trump imposed 100% tariff in the economy, and that is the largest tariff they have ever imposed in any economy. Now, what does that tariff mean? It means that whatever import that economy is getting, they'll be increasing their tax, which means that inflation in that particular economy in which the tariff was imposed, and in this case in China, their inflation rate will rise drastically, spending will increase, the consumers will be spending more in the economy, which is bad for the economy. And this led to a risk-off environment. Gold was pumping drastically. Gold will just keep on pumping during this period, right? During this whole tariff period, right? We're going to be seeing gold buying drastically. You can see gold just kept on going up drastically. All the cryptocurrency dumped. Why? Because investors started removing their money from cryptocurrencies, and this made the cryptocurrencies lose their value for a short term. Now, does this mean that the crypto market is over? No, it doesn't mean the crypto market is over. The crypto market will still pump, people will still make money. This is just one bad news. So everybody shouldn't focus on just one bad news and say, oh, it's over. It's not over. You understand? This is not the first time something like this is happening. Do you get? So what else? During the risk off, I told you all that JPY was going to be strong. JPY was going to be bullish, and we can see a bullish move last week on JPY. Did I make money from this prediction? Obviously, I did. I took a trade on GBP JPY, and I made up to 110 pips from this particular trade. You can see this is simply it. This is how the trade played out perfectly well. I also sent the signal to my VIP signal channel. I also had another trade I was looking at on GBP AUD. Why was I looking at this trade on GBP AUD? Why? Let me explain. AUD is a risk-on currency. Now, AUD does poorly during times of economic uncertainty. You understand? During times of uncertainty, during times of risk off, AUD does poorly. So if AUD is weak, what does this mean? It means GBP will be strong. So GBP AUD was meant to be bullish. And last week, I saw this particular trade here, and I said, oh, we are going to take this trade. But all of a sudden, sadly, I missed the trade. Why did I miss this trade? Well, because I was looking for more fundamental confirmations, which was a very, very big mistake I made. But most of my students took it and I was very, very happy. Whenever I miss a trade like this, I just get excited when I see that, oh, my students still took the trade. You know, I work with fundamentals. I work solely with fundamentals. Most of my students work with technicals, but I still give them fundamental updates on what is happening so that they will just, have a clue on what is happening. So we all knew that GBP AUD was going to be bullish, but I was just looking for more fundamental confirmation before taking this trade. I didn't get one, but the trade ran all the way, giving us more than 190 pips. This was my TP target, and most of my students did the same thing. We made lots of profit from this trade, and GBP AUD is still going to be bullish. I would give you all my reasons. Now, also, what happened last week? I'm explaining everything that happened last week before I explain what is going to happen this week. The tariff announcement, we had an ease on the tariff announcement. What does this mean? It means that Trump gave out a good news saying that he might not hold the 100% tariff implementation in which he gave on China. He might not hold this thing. So if it's not holding, it means that all these risks of currencies would lose strength. What does this mean? It means that optimism is in the air. So investors might start putting their money back on risks on currencies. Do you understand? So let us look at the dollar and see what happened on Friday. The dollar actually gained strength on Friday. We can see this is a little bit of strength in which the dollar gained on Friday. You can see this bullish push. This was due to the fact that Trump said on Friday that he might not impose this 100% tariff in which he's talking about. But it's not certain yet. Anything can still happen. Investors are still keeping an eye on what Trump is going to say. Next week, he might still say something like, oh, there's a tariff announcement and I'm still going to impose the tariff. You know how Trump is. Trump can give out so many news, you understand, that can affect the market. I told you all, if you're in this big 2025 and you don't understand fundamental, as Trump as the president, trust me, you are playing with your trading. It's as if you're just gambling, because most of the things that's going to move the market this period is fundamentals. We saw it from the beginning of this year. The moment Trump entered seat, everything started moving based on fundamental. The market started shaking. So if you don't understand fundamentals, trust me, you are at big risks. And how can you understand this? Most times I only give updates on trades, on currencies that favor me. You understand? Things I can look at. But you can also read it by yourself. You can also learn it by yourself if you understand the framework. And the way you can understand the framework is simply by getting the macroeconomics mastery class. You understand? It's still at a discount, and trust me, this discount is not going to last forever. I know some of you might say, oh, it's been on a discount for a long time. Trust me, it's not going to last forever. You'll be learning a lot of things. You'll be learning how to trade gold using fundamentals, because I can tell you for a fact, gold is not something you trade with technicals. Yes, I can argue this anywhere. Gold is not a commodity you trade with technicals. You cannot say gold is respecting an order block or is respecting an FVG. No, gold is simply respecting fundamentals. And why gold is pumping is because we are in a period of uncertainty. That is just simply why gold is pumping. So some of you that are saying gold will always keep buying. No, gold will not always keep buying. There are periods where gold will start selling. And if you don't understand this, you might keep looking for buy opportunity and you'll be hitting your SLs. It will be hitting your SLs. Why? Because you're thinking that gold is something that just keep buying. It's only buying due to the fact that we are in a risk of uncertainty. You can see trade I took based on news, CPI news, FOMC news. You can see how fast the price move. You understand? Most of my students experienced this profit. I gave them signals like this and we took trades like this. You understand? All these are possible with fundamentals. I won't tell you I was looking at a technical analysis. No, technicals are just for my entry. But if I'm taking a trade, I'm making sure it's rhyming with what is happening in the fundamental background. What is occurring in the fundamental background. You understand? So that's just simply it. For those who want to see it in dollars, I can tell you for a fact it's still at $41. You understand? If you are interested, $42. If you're interested, you can make sure to text me up. You get my link from my YouTube description, or you can just simply text me up if you have my WhatsApp contact, so you can start your class. You understand? So with that being said, let us go back to what is happening in the forex market. So we also had a speech on AUD, and what did I say last week? the RBA, which is the Reserve Bank of Australia, they declared that they are seeing possibility of another rate cut on AUD. Now this made AUD officially weak. So that's why I told you that GBP AUD is looking like something that would actually keep buying, due to the fact that last week they gave a news saying that, oh, they are seeing more rate cut on AUD. So GBP AUD looks like something that would keep buying. I'm expecting more buys, but I don't know where I'll enter this trade from, right? I don't want to jump into conclusions and give you an analysis, but if I see any good analysis, any good entries, surely my students are going to get it. You understand? Surely my students are going to get it. But for now, I'm not looking for any bullish entry yet. I will just sit back and wait for the market to finish its retracement. You understand? But my own big confirmation is that GBP AUD is meant to keep on being what? Bullish. You understand? This is the fact that AUD is experiencing a rate cut. So let's go into what is going to happen this week. Now, based on this week, what is the market sentiment? The market sentiment is still risk off. You understand? Even though Trump have already said that, oh, he's seen possibilities of, holding back on the tariff on China and everything like that, investors are not just holding on to his words. Why? Because Trump has said a lot of things. He has said a lot of things about, oh, the tariff, and still he will still do something different over time. You understand? So what I'm trying to say is, still keep an eye on the risks of currencies. Possibility you might still see a huge spike this week based on any announcement, based on any news that can occur in the market. And we are still having a government shutdown. Explain what government shutdown was. Government shutdown just simply tells you if the economy is willing to pay the workers, and if they are not willing to pay the workers, all these news reports that are important to understand the data of dollar, they are not going to be released. This week we're also going to be having a CPI news release on USD, which is on Friday, and I can tell you for a fact it might be released. This one might actually be released. Why? Because this one is not under the government shutdown policy. Do you get? But this CPI is just going to give us an expectation of what we're going to see on dollar. So what am I saying? That the important news in which you should be looking at, that you should be scared of this week, is the CPI. I'll not say scared. If you understand fundamentals, you know how to trade them. The CPI and the card CPI and the GBP daily speaks, right? So that is just simply it. I don't think there's any more news that will affect the market this period. The market is currently focused on risk off. That is the market focus. That is the market sentiment. So most of the news that will be affecting the market are news that are not even on this economic calendar. It's just speech. You might just see a different speech. They might say AUD decided to do this, or GBP decided to do this. You understand? And we're going to be making our cool cash in the academy. So if you're interested in becoming my student, so I'll be giving you updates like this every single day, because my students are the first to get the updates. You know what to do, just hit me up. So let us go to some chart analysis. I make sure I give you all chart analysis. You understand? So for GBP JPY, I wouldn't advise you to go and start looking for entry on this zone again. You understand? Whenever market builds liquidity like this, most times market might just come and take it out before selling drastically. You understand? So I wouldn't advise you to go and start looking for entry. This entry I took was based on, I explained it to people who are viewing my status and people who are in my Telegram channel, was due to the fact that there was a liquidity sweep. So I took an entry from this zone and I made my 110 pips from this trade. So if you want to take an entry on GBP JPY, yes, JPY is still going to be bullish. JPY is going to be strong. So GBP JPY is meant to keep on selling. That is my prediction for this week. GBP JPY is meant to keep on selling. USD JPY is meant to keep on selling. CAD JPY is meant to keep on selling. If there's any news release that will affect this data, I would update my students and I will update those who are following up in my Telegram channel. Do you understand? So for now, that's just simply it. Let us go on to other pairs like the USD JPY. USD JPY, I'm seeing a good retracement. For me, I'm already seeing an entry on this trade, but I will not really call it my strategy, so I'm not really going to draw anything here. I'll just say if markets should sweep this liquidity, is going to look very good. If market should sweep this liquidity, is going to look very good for an entry to take it on a sell. But I'm not telling you to go and set your limits there. No, I'll always wait for a confirmation and I'll give my students the updates. So that's just simply it. For AUD JPY, ADGPY is one of my favorite GPY pairs if I'm trading GPY. This also looks very good. To me, I'll wait for another sweep of liquidity at this zone. And then after the sweep of liquidity at this zone, I can now start looking for a sell entry to take all the way to the downside. I might actually be looking at this one because this one looks like my setup. You understand? It looks like my setup. So we can actually draw something like this and take the trade from there. If I see a good entry, I'm selling. You understand? For GBP USD, I told you all that USD is going to be what? Bearish. But GBP USD looks like it's going to be retracing for some time. So we are going to first of all be looking for a buy opportunity on GBP USD. So what does that mean? You not enter immediately, you wait for the market to retrace and give you good entry. When the market has retraced and giving you a good entry, then you can now buy all the way to the top. You understand? That will give you good profits. You can see the key level is actually here. So this is actually a very, very beautiful trade to take as of next week. You understand? But I will not suggest you should just enter on Monday. So you wait for the market to give you a good retracement. The retracement might not be over. Then after the retracement, you can now start looking for a buy entry. But who knows? Technicals, based on technicals, you can take any trade based on your analysis as long as you're following the fundamentals I'm giving you. Fundamental prediction is that dollar is going to be weak, GBP USD is supposed to be bullish. Do you understand? So AUD USD, I don't really like this currency. This currency is actually very, very at this particular period, this currency is very nonchalant. So I'm not really going to do anything with this currency. For USD CHF, I'm looking at a very, very good entry at this zone, waiting for the market to sweep liquidity. Looks like my strategy, and sell all the way down. So that is simply it. For BTC USD, I can tell you all that BTC USD have possibility of buying very soon. So you all should just be waiting for a confirmation, wait for a change of character. For now, I don't think you should go and start buying because the market still looks like a downtrend. But due to the fact that we have seen optimism in the risk of environment, BTC USD is meant to show a little bit of bullish strength. You understand? That's for the crypto traders. So that will simply be it. Is there any other pair I'm leaving out? You all that trade gold, I don't know how you all trade it, but me, I look for very, very good retracements before ever entering gold. So this is a good retracement, but you see the type of retracement I trade when it comes to gold. I like huge retracement, something like this. You understand? This was the last trade I took on gold, and this was where I took it. The last trade I took on gold, and I don't even know why I closed. Even till now, I'm regretting why I closed. Why would I close my buy position on gold? And this was what I took. This was how I traded it, and I closed early. You understand? I would have just kept on holding. Imagine I kept on holding all this. Well, we can only imagine that. So JPY, I've already explained what will happen. AUD, I've already explained what will happen. So in case you all have any other question, just let me know. I've given you all the breakdown for this fundamental update. Summary of everything is we're in a risk-off environment. The tariff is still in the air. It's not cancelled. It's still in the air. So anything can happen. But for now, there's optimism. But due to the fact that we are still in a risk-off environment, JPY is supposed to be strong. USD is seeing a possibility of a rate cut. So based on monetary policy, dollar is supposed to be bearish. Any news that is being released that might affect this data, I will give you all an update in the Telegram channel. So stay tuned. I will also post it on my status as well. So stay tuned for the update. And that is simply it. You know what to do based on technicals. Look for your entry. AUD2 is going to be weak, so look for your entry on GBP AUD, on Euro AUD. Look for buy opportunities on these pairs I just mentioned. With that being said, have a lovely trading week ahead, and good luck to you all. We are going to make more money this week.